we recording? Okay. And a 1, and a 2, and a... We are the Mrs. and a Mike. 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 We are the Mrs. and a Mike.
Oh, that was a good one.
I know, girl. I got into that one.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Mrs. and a Mike podcast. This is CJ.
It's Elle.
And Bree.
Hi.
So, ladies, how about we talk a little bit about something that's been going on with us this last week? Anybody want to start? You want to go first?
I'll
CJ?
start.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the beginning of every year, Mr. CJ and I do some sort of fast or like something of that nature to start the year off.
I have a question. Y'all mean like a food fast?
Yes. Well, it can vary. So sometimes it might be a food fast. Sometimes it might be a fast from something else. It's just a fast of some sort for the first 2 weeks of the year.
2 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, for us, it's like setting our intentions for the year and clearing our minds and starting off on the right foot. But we did well this year.
You know, my mind will be real clear. Eating a nice juicy filet with a lobster tail. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But, you know, I understand. Go ahead.
So this year was a little different. We didn't cut out certain foods, but we limited the time that we ate.
Oh, like Ramadan.
Something of the sort. It's called like intermittent fasting.
Oh, yeah.
So we only
Well, yeah, I did that when I was on my keto diet.
Yeah, me too.
So we only ate between 11 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, which is actually
not bad at all.
It's not bad, but it's also not as easy as you think, especially in the evenings when you're getting off from work, you're picking up kids, you're getting home, trying to get everybody settled, trying to cook dinner or think about what you're going to make for dinner. And then at 6 o'clock, there's nothing cooked, nothing to eat. And you're like, we only have an hour to make something happen.
Yeah. 7 seems so late to eat dinner until you're trying to do something like that.
Right.
I remember at one point when I was on keto, I was doing 20-hour intermittent fasting. So I only had a 4-hour window.
Oh, goodness.
And like that, yes.
Wow.
Well, and I'm not advocating this for people who haven't like looked at like the proper way to do it, but you talk about the pounds melt off.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you also don't realize how hungry you are in the morning until you can't eat if you want to in the morning.
Yeah.
Which is weird because most mornings I don't want to eat. I'm not a breakfast person.
Oh, no, I'm a breakfast freak. I have to have my breakfast.
I'm
not
have
doing
to have
that
breakfast
ever.
on vacation. But like normal life, I like never eat breakfast.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I'm not a big breakfast person either, but I do a late morning snack. And so when it got around that time, I was like, oh, I'm
Is
so
your
hungry.
snack like gummy worms and avocado or something like that?
No, it is not.
Okay. I only said that because that's what she brought one time for a snack. Just thought y'all should know, listeners. She eats weird shit. I don't know. But continue.
Anyway, so we successfully completed it.
Awesome.
Good job. Chauncey, put in some applause right there. That'd be good.
I'll create my own applause.
Oh, Chauncey, never mind. She did it. It's all good. Anyways.
Well, I'll go next.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just returned back to work after maternity leave, and I was like completely devastated. I was like, I do not want to go back to work. I'm not ready for this. I'm really sad. But I went back to work, and I actually I've been doing really well. And my coworkers did a baby shower for me. It was planned for a week after I had the baby because I had the baby early. And so they had it as soon as I came back. And it was like right on time because it was what I needed to, get out of that funk.
Right. It made that transition that much easier.
Yes.
So nice.
Yeah. So, and I was just about to have to start buying diapers.
Oh,
and they hooked me up. They all bought diapers and wipes. I said, look at God.
That is a
I tell people
godsend,
all the
right?
time, diapers and wipes is probably not even close to the most glamorous like shower gift, but baby, when I tell you, them parents gonna be really excited to have them.
Yes. Yes.
Like you gonna be their favorite person in the middle of the night, 3-4 weeks after the baby's born.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
When I had my daughter, my coworkers did a diaper shower.
Oh, yes.
It was the best thing you would have thought I won the lottery.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Okay. I don't work anymore. Y'all know that. But prior to, I worked for the same company for 13 years. Okay. When I had my first child, my boss gave me a gift. I'm so grateful. Shout out to him. Nobody gave me no shower, nothing. Do you know how many baby showers I had given to them though?
Oh.
And then with my second one, my boss gave me a gift. Shout out to her. And then one of my employees got me a gift. Shout out to her. I think she listens too. So thank you, Fifi. But like other than that, nobody gave me nothing. I was like, ain't this a bitch? Like I never got a work shower.
So maybe the problem was that you were always the one coordinating it. And then when you had your baby, there was nobody to step up and take the lead and coordinate.
That's messed up.
It is, but
yeah, I was kind of devastated, you know, before I went in to have the baby. I was just like, they didn't have a shower for me. Like they have showers for everybody.
Because you went through
I
early.
was like, they don't like me.
They just you went too early. They were planned it.
I did.
I can relate because with my oldest, I had a shower that was being thrown for me by my friends that night. But I went into labor that morning, so the host had to call everybody like, sorry, we're not having the party. She's having the baby. So, yeah, I get it. Shout out to that friend, too. I don't know if she listens, but if she does, she knows who she is.
Right. Shout outs all around.
I just want the few people who thought of me to know that I appreciate them. This is by no means talking about all the wonderful people who came to my like actual baby shower, but, you know, just the work one. Just saying. Okay, so mine. I'm excited for mine. Since you brought up babies, I too have a new baby. You know, the LSU Tigers won the national championship, right?
They did.
All right. So of course, Mama had to spoil herself because her team won. So I bought me a new baby. She was like 4 pounds. She's like 9 inches tall. She's in a beautiful shade of monogram and vachetta. My new baby, Louis Vuitton Soufflot. Yes. Yes. She came home to her brothers and sisters.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
very excited to have her. So, yeah. My husband thinks I'm crazy, though. Like, crazy. He was like, you didn't play in the game. You don't know anybody that played in the game.
I know. I'm like, that was an LSU thing
Why do
because
you
they
need
won.
it?
Okay, you just needed a reason.
First of all, LSU was my school. Second of all, yes, I just needed a reason. So there you go.
That's stretching it a little bit, but
It was a reason.
There you go.
I was excited. Oh, speaking of my husband, that was him.
Checking in
Anywho,
on you. Hi, husband.
Hi, honey. He literally is checking on. How long you gonna be? Dude, chill out.
All right. So today we are talking about keeping up with the Joneses. And I guess we should start with what exactly that means. So I looked up a few definitions of keeping up with the Joneses. And basically we're talking about when you try to have or do the same things other people around you are doing or getting or having, even if you know you don't have the financial resources or you're not even interested. You're just doing it because other people around you are doing it. And Webster's definition is actually to show that one is as good as other people by getting what they have and doing what they do. So we want to talk about that in terms of marriages, because I think couples fall into that trap a lot of seeing other couples doing things and thinking or feeling like they need to do it in their marriage.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I just want to say I don't keep up with the Joneses. I am the Joneses.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. Second of all, I think social media made this a lot worse, but it definitely existed before. You know, people would invite you to their housewarming because they just got a beautiful big new house, but they wouldn't tell you that they fight every day in it. You know,
right.
like, so it's the same thing of like You only put the good stuff on Front Street, which makes other people feel like, well, I don't have that, or I can't do that. So am I inadequate in some way?
Right.
And then they want to break their necks to keep up. I think I saw a meme that was like, don't go broke trying to prove to broke people that you're not broke.
Yeah.
Basically.
And that's, you can definitely apply that to a relationship. Like, don't ruin your relationship, breaking your neck to prove to people who might be in bad relationships that you're not in a bad relationship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe just focus on your house.
So what are some examples of a couple keeping up with the Joneses? What are some things they may be doing that would fall into that category?
Just wanting the same things. Like if they see another couple, you know, having a bigger, nicer house or more expensive cars or just expensive things, like, you know, trying to keep up with them and have those expensive things as well. Or just, I guess, being jealous. I mean,
jealousy, that's a good way to just kind of encompass all of it. I think it doesn't always have to be like the things they have or the things they like do as far as like vacations and stuff like that. Like it can also just be every time I see them, he's grabbing her on her booty. I bet they have a great sex life, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like
it could
that
be things that they do.
Right. That might not even be close to the case at all, you know? Or he always comes up with like the most amazing gifts for her. I bet he's so thoughtful. When it's like 99% of the time, he don't even think about her, you know, like.
Yeah. Or they're always so lovey-dovey on Facebook. Yes. They're always kissing and they're always so happy. They don't have any problems in their relationship.
Yes. And it's like, girl, let me tell you about his secret baby. Let me tell you about her herpes, you know, like, but I'm just saying, like, you never know what somebody's dealing with, you know, just looking on the outside. And, I think having security in your own relationship helps you to not fall prey to that. But I think we're all guilty of it to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think so too.
What about you, CJ?
So you guys just made me think about like a really recent social media like video that I saw. And basically it's two celebrities. One of the celebrities planned this like extravagant birthday trip for his girlfriend, and she put it on social media, what he did and how he decorated and all of this. And I saw so many comments that were like, I want him to plan my next birthday celebration, or I wish my man would do what he did for her. Mm-hmm. But the reality is, in that relationship, he's got literally like 10 other kids, and he's got baby mamas trying to take him to court.
I think I know who you're talking about. And yes, you're absolutely right. But, you know, that's just, we're looking at that little piece that they're showing us, you know, and that good piece that they're showing us, because they're not showing us, you know, how she has to probably deal with all the baby mama drama that he has to deal with if she's gonna be in a relationship with him. Right. Mm-hmm. And how, you know, he can buy her this trip this year, but when all them child supports start hitting, that's gonna dry up too. You know, like they're not gonna show us that stuff.
Right.
And a lot of times I just want people to be like, you know, your man may not be where that man is financially right now, but that man might not even be close to where your man is support wise, love wise, sensitivity, kindness. You know what I mean? Because this particular guy we're talking about, he strikes me as the kind of like, he's a charmer. Then once he has you, he gets bored with you. And then you're just a notch on his belt and he moves to the next one. And I don't know about y'all, but that's not what I want.
Not at all.
Long term. You know what I mean? Like he's the kind of guy you have fun with, not the kind of guy you have a life with. I think a lot of women fall prey to that, but most of us want the kind of guy you have a life with, you know? So
what happens? You have found the person you want to have a life with. You guys are married. You're not going anywhere. What are some of the pitfalls to trying to keep up with the Joneses? How does that impact your personal relationship when you are trying to buy a bigger house because couple A has a bigger house, trying to buy a new car because couple B bought a new car? I even think there was a study done that showed if a neighbor buys a new car, the likelihood that the other neighbors will go out and buy a new car increases because that one neighbor bought a new car. So obviously in marriages, it happens. Even I think if we try to keep it from happening, it happens. So what problems does that cause for your relationship if you're doing these things?
I just have to say real quick, I want people to understand we're not just talking about like comparing your relationship to like celebrity relationships you see or like, you know, like influencers and stuff. We're also talking about like comparing your relationship to like your friends, your neighbors, your church members, your coworkers. Like those are also people that you could be trying to emulate and maybe be jealous of. So it's not necessarily supposed to be on a macro scale. It can be on a micro scale as well. What were you going to say, Elle?
I was just going to say, I mean, financially, if you're not able, you know, to get those things, you're putting yourself in a bind financially, you know, by trying to keep up with, you know, somebody else who may actually be in the bind themselves because they got, you know, a nice bigger house or whatever from somebody else possibly. So financially, it could be a burden. It can cause you to not, you know, to start not being happy in your own relationship when you have everything else going for you in your relationship. So that's two things. But
yeah, I was going to say, I think for a lot of people, it starts to convince them that they're not satisfied with what they have because they think they need whatever somebody else has or whatever this other couple has going on.
Right.
They feel like they need that. And so now I'm no longer happy with all the wonderful things I
do have.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Not and appreciative.
It's almost like you forget to remember all the good stuff you do have.
Right. You just start seeing all the things you don't
have. So one thing that I started doing, I actually started doing it around like the holidays and I carried it into the new year and it is really impactful for this kind of stuff. Also for a lot of other issues that I have, but, I have a gratitude journal and every night I write down what I'm grateful for that day. And sometimes they're big things like, you know, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my home. Sometimes it's small things like I'm grateful for that really good dinner I had, you know, but it helps me to not lose focus of all of the blessings and amazing things that I do have going for myself. So I don't dwell on the I don'ts and I wants and the, you know what I mean? So I don't fall into that trap as easily as I did before, you know, because it's easy to lose focus on the good things when you're just focusing on not the bad thing, but the thing you think you want, but you don't have, or even you do want it, but you just don't have it, you know?
Right. Do you feel like in your relationships, you have ever fallen prey to the keeping up with the Joneses syndrome?
I know I did. I don't know if I've ever really talked on the podcast before about this, but we had a little trouble conceiving our first child. And we started trying when we got married. We got married in 2012 and I didn't get pregnant until 2015. So for those 3 years, you know, I had plenty of friends and coworkers and classmates and whatever that got pregnant seemingly to me very easily. But for all I know, they had been trying for many more years than I had been trying. And while I was genuinely, truly happy for them, I also was genuinely, truly sad for myself. In fact, CJ, you were one of those people because you got pregnant with your oldest like 4 or 5 months before I got pregnant with mine. Yeah. And I remember when you told me, it's literally like the two halves of my brain separated. And the right half was like, yay, she's having a baby. I'm so happy for my friend. And the left side was like, there's another one and it's not you. And what's wrong with you? Why can't it be you? You know, and I really had to realize that it happens when it's supposed to happen, whether that's God's time, if you believe that, or if it's just the universe's time or, you know, fate or whatever you believe in, but it happens when it's supposed to happen and it wasn't my time yet. But I was so focused on the fact that it felt like everybody else was having babies and I just couldn't realize that it was a blessing that I was able to do all the things that I was able to do before I had my kids. You know, I was able to travel. I was able to be really frivolous with my money, although I'm still a little frivolous with my money, but I'm a bit more conservative.
The most recent purchase.
First of all, okay, that was a baby. All right. That was a whole nother birth I gave. All right. But there's a lot of things that I was able to do, and I wasn't even thinking about those in that moment that, I bet my friends wish they could do some of these things, but they're at home with babies. I just was focused on the fact that I didn't have a baby. And I was like losing my mind. Like when I tell you, I was like, basal temperature, put your feet up for 15 minutes after, don't eat these foods, eat a lot of these foods, pee on the ovulation stick, pee on the pregnancy stick, like losing my mind and losing the fun in our sex life because it was becoming a chore.
Right.
It was,
I have to do it at
this time, this way, for this long, and we can't do it in between because I need you to conserve your juices and like all this, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't even realize the toll it was taking. I was driving my husband crazy. I was losing my mind just because I was so focused on the fact that everybody else could do this thing that it felt like I couldn't do.
Right.
I really had to take a step back. And ironically, when I stopped is when it happened.
Right. So do you think, had the people around you not been popping up with babies, it would have played out differently for you if you didn't see all these other couples constantly getting pregnant and having babies?
It may have, because I may have been stressing myself into not getting pregnant. It may not have, because
well,
like
I just
said,
meant like your stressing and like the
definitely
the toll it took on you and you being hard on yourself.
I would have never, and not to blame my friends, because again, I was genuinely happy for them, but no, I would have never, like, I'm sure it would have been in the back of my mind. I always wanted kids, but it would not have been this pressing need for right now, like that kind of thing. So
yeah, I definitely could relate to that because, I mean, we had problems getting pregnant as well. And we saw all these people around us on their second and third kid. And we're like, wait a minute. And, my family is quite fertile. So, they have 5 and 6. And I'm like, ooh, I haven't had one yet.
Girl.
So, yeah, I could definitely feel that pressure as well. But one thing for me has been like, I guess, romantic gestures, like, people receiving flowers and the husband being so romantic and sweet. And yes, my husband has been romantic and sweet a few times. But, I see things and I'm like, oh, he got her this expensive gift and, oh, it's so beautiful and things like that. But it's funny because, for instance, I'll give an example. My husband bought me a push present and I thought it was beautiful. It was a locket and it was quite expensive. And I was like, you know what? I can't keep this. It's too expensive. We have a baby now. Like, I want to, save money. And so I actually brought it back.
You tripping.
Wow.
Girl.
So I'm like, here I am, jealous over all these, and trying to keep up with all these other couples with all these expensive, beautiful gifts and stuff. And I bring the gift back that I've been wanting. So that just goes to show you how silly sometimes trying to keep up with the Joneses is.
So can I tell you something that you're probably not considering? But before I do that, I have to be like, are you okay? You gave it back?
Right. Normally I'm on your side. But when you said you gave it back, my heart dropped a little bit.
Y'all don't know them personally, but if Mr. L made a large purchase, they could afford it because homeboy does not spend money frivolously ever. Okay. You did not need to give it back. Trust me when I say y'all was straight. He knew y'all was straight and I cannot believe you did that.
It was like, I mean, I don't know. Since we had the baby, I'm like, I just can't. I can't accept this.
You can. Like you still can live your life. Everything does not have to stop just for the little sweet pea. I know it looks like that because she's so cute and tiny. You want to give her the world and everything, but you still got to keep spinning yourself.
I mean, even he was just like,
you sure?
Really?
What?
Like,
I'm sure.
You're just gonna, he's like, well, you have to return it. I'm not going back and telling those people they're going to lose out on the commission.
Right. I cannot believe you did that. Go get it back again.
Well, it's probably too late for that. But
lies.
I was not expecting the story to end that way.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say, he got me this beautiful locket and it was such a romantic gesture and I loved it.
I mean, it was, and I did love it. It was absolutely gorgeous. I
actually was about to ask her, like, go get it. I want to see it. Like, because she's not wearing it. So, girl.
But back to the
Mr.
topic.
Mr. L, go get it. Go buy it back. Give it to her for Valentine's Day. And tell her you lost the receipt. She can't bring it back. Anywho, but what I was going to say is the other side you're probably not thinking about is, so you're saying, I wish my husband would do these romantic gestures and, because I see these other couples that do it and it's so nice and it's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
My husband does not have a romantic bone in his body. I can count on 2 fingers the number of genuinely romantic things he's done that I didn't have to tell him I wanted first. Okay. So I look at the few romantic things that Mr. L has done for you, and I'm envious of that. So while you're looking at like the other people, you got to remember there's people looking at you envious of what you have.
Yeah, that's what everybody.
Right.
Because I look at your husband and he says, "Oh yeah, I do the laundry," and I'm like, "What?"
We back to my dirty drawers again.
I saw them.
You see what your husband did?
I saw y'all's husbands washing the dishes, and I'm like, oh, they wash dishes. Like that's with everybody. Everybody has someone looking at them saying, "Oh, well, her husband does this or her husband does that."
I promise you, our husbands are listening. Like, and she brought it back. You got your money back. What? They're very envious of that.
It's gonna be like, you didn't bring mine back.
Girl,
sure didn't.
Mr. Bree is like, I mean, we could still sell yours. Right. So, I mean, that just goes to show you, sometimes you're so focused on other people, you're not realizing that you're really blessed. In a lot of people's books, you're the Joneses, you know?
Yeah. Right. Like with flowers, it's like, I don't even like flowers.
I love flowers.
I just feel like you're taking something beautiful out the ground and you're putting it on your table for it to die.
You're putting it on your table for it to be admired.
But anyway, when I see other people getting, I'm like, oh, she got flowers. And I'm like, wait a minute, Elle, you don't like flowers. What are you doing?
Don't nobody have time to water the flowers and make sure they last for 3 days instead of just one.
Right.
Yeah.
I love flowers. And Mr. Bree, if you're listening, it's been a minute since I got some. Just saying. Valentine's is coming up.
So my example is it actually involves you guys.
Oh.
And it was the couple's trip to Europe. And we initially could not go for health reasons. Mm-hmm. But then
y'all were missed, by the way. Just
Yes, y'all were, definitely.
When we had some hiccups and we were able to go, I felt like they're all going to Europe. We're getting ready to miss out. Like, we couldn't go initially, but now we can. I have to make it happen. So I'm texting Bree, trying to organize dates and get prices and make things happen. And it just didn't work out. And I think I remember telling you it's not working out for a reason. Yeah. And it ended up being a good reason.
Right, to say there was a reason. Right. We didn't know at the time.
Right. But in that moment, I was like, I can't believe we're going to miss this trip. I can't believe they're all going to Europe and they're going to have fun. And we never miss trips with them. We have to make this happen. Yeah. So I'm stressed out. I'm stressing Mr. CJ out because Mr. CJ is like, if you want to go, just book the trip.
He was like, just shut up about it. Leave me alone.
Just book it. So yeah, for me, that was a moment when I was like, my friends are doing it. Their husbands are going. They're going to have a great time. We should be there too. We should be doing it too. And it just didn't work out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was definitely.
Like, I remember that day. And I remember even on mine before you were like, it's just not working out. I was thinking to myself, we already booked a lot of this. This is a lot for her to try to hurry and do all at once. I don't know if it's going to happen because we had all the flights taken care of. We had already done all the hotels and I was like, I could get y'all in. I don't know if it'll be the same rates and, that kind of stuff. So I remember I felt so bad, but I also was like, this is rough. Trying to do it hard, do it now, so, but Europe didn't go anywhere. It's the way it was when we left it. Yeah. So we're going to go back. Yes. One day we're all going to go.
But it's things like that also that we had to keep in mind. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
And we couldn't make that trip, but
you'll make the future.
There will be plenty more trips. Yeah. And the ultimate reason that we couldn't make it turned out to be a far bigger blessing than going to Europe.
Right.
Exactly.
Sorry, that's my cat's food coming out.
Girl, I thought somebody was trying to saw something. I was like, what is Mr. L doing in the room?
Sorry. No, but I just wanted to give an example. It's not me in my relationship, but it was My uncle. I'm sure he doesn't mind me sharing this story.
Does he listen?
I hope so.
I hope so too. That's why I'm like.
Well, for Christmas, him and his neighbor down the street were always in competition for decorations for outside their homes, with the lights and like these big blow up lights, like the big Santa Claus and all his reindeer. And so like one Christmas, they were like one upping each other. They kept going back to the store, getting more. Like it was just like they had to win.
Uh-huh.
So my uncle ended up like shorting out his whole house.
Oh my God.
All the lights went out and he was just like, oh, okay. And he was just sitting there looking crazy. So, I mean, you can't always do stuff like that.
Movie, y'all. This is a movie.
I think it is.
Deck the Halls. That's the movie. Your uncle was based in that movie.
And it was just hilarious because every time I went over there, it was just like more decorations. And I'm like, what? This is like getting tacky. Like, it's a lot. This is a lot.
That's funny.
How did you guys deal with the negative impact these events had on your marriage? So or even still, like you comparing your marriage to other people and then the negative feelings you have, how do you deal with that with your spouse?
I think I said mine already. Like the main thing for me is like to always be grateful for what we do have, because we are incredibly blessed. And even though it may seem like somebody else has more, you got to remember that's their journey.
Yeah.
You don't know what battles they fought behind closed doors to get there. Things you may not be willing to sacrifice to get there, So just be grateful for what you have. Not to say that you shouldn't be working towards your goals, because you should, but just look around where you are and take stock and be grateful. So just remaining grateful really is the thing that I think works best for us. My husband's not the kind of, this is more so a thing for me. My husband's not really the type to really care what other people are doing. He doesn't gauge his success meter by other people's successes or failures or whatever. He kind of is like the captain of his ship. I wish I were more like that. I'm not. I'm all into, oh, look what she got in. Oh, for instance, there's an influencer I'm trying desperately to keep up with her wardrobe. And I have to keep reminding myself that because homegirl has like 400,000 followers, a lot of that shit is gifted to her.
Yes.
Whereas I have to buy it. And I could overextend myself trying to buy it just to keep up with her because she looks so fly. And I have to remember, you got a lot of fly shit too, Bree. Like, just be happy
that's
with
a
what
really
you
good
got.
example. Yeah.
So I think for me, just the being grateful for what you have is like the utmost important in keeping me from feeling those negative
Yep.
feelings.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. So one of the things I do a lot is evaluate whether or not this is something I actually want or need versus seeing other people have it and just feeling like they have it, so I have to have it. So for me, that's always the first thing. Do you even really want this? Is this even something that would be useful for you?
Or prioritizing the difference between a want and a need.
Right.
Do I need this?
Right.
Or do I just want this? Because to me, then if you can get it and it's not going to hurt anything, sure. But if you have to break your neck to get it, then probably leave it where it is.
Right.
You know, versus the things that you do break your neck to get. Those are the needs,
Right.
Right.
I have trouble with realizing I don't need a lot of things that I put in the need category.
But I think even the things you put in the want category, a lot of times people don't really want that. They just think they do because somebody else has it, but you don't want it. And if you got it, you wouldn't use it or you wouldn't do anything with it or you'd regret it. So just evaluating those things, prioritizing what you need, but also we make sure we are never comparing ourselves to other couples. So like you said, we recognize that everybody's journey is different. What works for one marriage may not work for your marriage. And just because they have it or they're doing it does not mean it will work in our home. And saying, oh, that's nice that they have this. Oh, that looked like it was fun. Or I'm sure they enjoyed that trip. but it's not for us. Or, the place that we're in our lives, this is just not meant for us to have. And if it is, we'll get it down the line or we'll get it later. So always recognizing what we have, like you said, being grateful for what we have, but also recognizing that our journey is not the same as any other couple's journey. And we have to stay true to our journey.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So is there ever a time when keeping up with the Joneses is beneficial?
So we talked like 2 seconds before this about this, and I brought this up. I do think there are times where it is beneficial to kind of do a compare and contrast to good influences around you. So I know we talked previously about marriage accountability partners. If you notice that your marriage accountability partners are displaying good behaviors as far as communication, or as far as proper arguing techniques, or thoughtfulness, or just things that maybe you've noticed could be lacking in your relationship, but things that are important to a good relationship. I think in those instances, it's good to say like, oh, I noticed he comes home every day and he sits down, he takes 10 minutes and he just talks one-on-one to his wife, no distractions, no phones, blah, 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 and say, how's your day? We should do that. Those things help your relationship. And that might not be something that you would have thought of doing had you not seen somebody else do it. So I think there can be instances where keeping up with the Joneses can help you. You just have to make sure you keep your focus on, is this something we need, or is this just something I want because I saw somebody else do it and it looked cool and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you might be like, yeah, when you come home every day, honey, I want you to take 10 minutes and I want you to sit down and talk just to me about your day. Completely negating the fact that that man comes home, he puts his keys down, he goes to the bathroom for 10 minutes, and then after, he's all yours all night. You have him, but yet and still you're texting him even more to be up in your face, like you have to make sure that if it's something that you see and you're thinking, oh, that might be a good thing, that it is something you want. But there can be good instances of keeping up with the Joneses. And you guys, a lot of times, are our Joneses, which I don't know if my husband loves or hates it. Because I am guilty, like I said before, of being like, oh, Mr. L did this thing for L. He sent her flowers to her job and was like, meet me here after work. And that was so romantic and blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure in the back of his mind, he's like eye rolling. To me, he's just like, that's good for them or whatever. That not necessarily is something that he needed to do to like help our relationship. It was just something I saw that I wanted. But had we stopped being thoughtful with each other, seeing that and seeing your husband be thoughtful with you would have been something that could have sparked some thoughtfulness with us, and it would have helped us. It just happened to be something, it was just something I wanted and not something I needed.
Right.
So yeah, I do think you can have positive effects from keeping up with the Joneses, but you have to be mindful of who your Joneses are.
Yes.
And you have to be mindful of who you are.
Right.
Like your Joneses should not be Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, I was gonna say your Joneses shouldn't be Kardashians.
Right. Like no shade to them. I don't know if I've said this before. I'm probably the only person in the room that loves the Kardashians. And I'm fine with that. And I know we all love J&B. But, we've only seen a little bit of their struggles, what they've shown us. And let me tell you, I don't want to put up with some of the stuff she had to put up with.
Right.
And I haven't had
After
to.
Lemonade, I'm like, whoa, I don't know about that.
Right. And think about that. Knowing notoriously how private she is, that's just the stuff she told us.
Right.
Think about all the things that probably happened she didn't tell us,
Say, whoa.
So it's like you have to be mindful, like, is this realistic? Am I trying to keep up with people that I can keep up with and for the right reasons? Or am I killing myself just to keep up with them?
Right.
Because Kanye bought Kim a Birkin and had it finger painted by North. I should kill myself to get a $17,000 purse and have it finger painted by your kids for Mother's Day.
Yeah, and who was that had the roses like laid out on the floor, like where they could barely walk through the room?
Kylie. It was Kylie. Travis did that for Kylie for Valentine's Day or something like that. It's funny enough. I saw that and I was like, that's so nice. Who's cleaning that up?
I was getting ready to say, every time I see that, I always think, now who is going to clean that up afterwards?
Granted, I'm sure they have people to clean theirs up. But You and your husband trying to keep up with them. Y'all don't have people to clean up. And it's not romantic when y'all trying to get them rose petals from up under everything.
Right.
You know?
Right. They got red stains all over the place.
Not to mention how not cheap rose petals are.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think for us, a good thing that comes from keeping up with the Joneses would be seeing couples who are constantly working towards becoming more successful. So just growing in terms of their career and the things that they're doing in the community. It encourages us to never settle for where we are, never be content, and to always keep striving, to keep growing. Obviously, we're not so much so that I'm trying to go get a job in banking or something like that, or I'm trying to go get a job in social work or anything like that. I understand my lane and where I am, but the point being that you just continue to work to grow. So I'm not trying to emulate exactly what other couples have, but it's good to see those couples continue to work hard because it encourages us to continue to work hard.
Yeah, it's like we're each other's village. And your village should be encouraging you to grow and should be good examples. And like when one of us falls, the other one should be there like, hey, let's pick you up. Let's help you, support you and everything like that. It should be like a healthy kind of competition, but not really a competition. Because I think I don't measure my success by y'all's success. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, for instance, your house. Y'all else house is beautiful. Okay. It's beautiful
y'all.
and it's gorgeous and it's huge. I'm genuinely happy for y'all, but I also am not trying to like buy a house just like y'all's. You know? Like there's other things that we see as goals that we want to do, and that's fine. And if the time should come when we can have a house like this, great, but.
And speaking of like in the background, like you don't know how much we went through with this house because it was a fixer-upper and it was stressful.
See, we see the finished product and everything is beautiful and modern and, it's open and it's gorgeous.
And stressful on our marriage as well. Like doing a fixer-upper. Oh,
and let me tell you, that would be something to damn near break us because I tell your husband all the time, I don't have the vision y'all have. I want a turnkey. I want to walk in and it look like this already. I can't go from where this house began to where it is now. I can't do that. That's not my right. But that's not my lane. So if I was in competition with y'all, I would be trying to buy your neighbor's house to do the same, and that would be silly of me. And that would result in the dissolution of Mr. Bree and Mrs. Bree. And it's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
there are things that we have to do. But I can still see the bigger picture and see that, you guys work through it together and, he supported you supported him through achieving this incredible goal. And that's the takeaway. That's the competition. Right. So that we can also support each other and work through things to achieve a goal. Not necessarily the same exact
goal. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the key to me.
Right. And that's probably the pitfall to keeping up with the Joneses is when you find yourself trying to do exactly what another couple has done instead of just saying, oh, that was a good idea. Let me evaluate it and see if this would work for me or if this is something that would be beneficial to my marriage. Or if I tried doing this, would it cause problems? I don't think people think about that. They see it, they think it's cute, and then they immediately feel like they have to replicate it in their own lives.
Everything looks easy when you see somebody else doing it. Like, a lot of people just make things look easy, but it's just not.
Right. Well, it's like that. I hate to be like the meme god on the episode, but there's a meme where it's like success looks like this, and it's an iceberg, and the tip that's above the water is what we see. You know, the success, but all the work is that huge piece that's underneath the water. And it's like people aren't showing you their daily struggle. You guys weren't posting. I don't know the fights
that we had about flooring,
or like the contractor messing up, or I don't know, but just whatever. You know
termite damage.
Yes, that nobody told you about beforehand. And so after you done this part, you had to go back and redo it because they didn't, like that kind of stuff. So nobody posts that, nobody broadcasts that. You might tell, your closest friend or something, but you're not gonna put that on Front Street. All we would see. Although, you did tell us because we're real friends. But anyway. I mean, all the general public would see is this big, beautiful home. It's like, oh, they're so young to have such a gorgeous
see the finished
house
product.
Right. And it's like, but you don't realize what they went through to get it, you know? So you got to keep that in mind. Like, it looks like it came easy, but it didn't. Like, most of your favorite singers did not become famous overnight.
Right.
You know, like most of your favorite singers were grinding and failing for years before anybody actually gave them a real platform to be where they are now. You know, I mean, they've been dropped from labels and performed for like 3 people. And I think I watched, Travis Scott has a Netflix documentary that I watched not so long ago, and he showed footage a few years ago of him performing for like 15 people, and I want to say like 8 of the 15 people worked for him.
What?
Now he's selling out stadiums.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy to think like, damn, like, you know, he was performing for like nobody and nobody cared, and he was still giving energy and trying and
Right.
They weren't even looking. They were like in a hot dog line. Like, you know, you always see the success, but you don't see the work. So don't fall prey to thinking anything is just given to somebody.
Right.
Like, even people who win the lottery or whatever, like, they still have struggles.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
You know, nothing
added struggles. Yeah.
Exactly. More money, more problems. Like, nothing is just as easy as it seems.
Right. And I think even with this podcast, we try to be as genuine as possible because we don't want people to see like the end result or the quick Instagram photo or the, you know, the snapshot basically and think, oh, this is perfect. It's wonderful. It's easy. And I don't even think we expect people to listen to our own individual stories and follow them exactly because we know it worked for us, but it doesn't mean that you following our recipe exactly
is going to make success for you.
Right.
I mean, we didn't even follow each other's recipes. We three have 3 different stories, you know, to how we got to where we are. I think the takeaway is basically what we were saying before, like, look at the bigger picture. Take the part that, you know, it took work and that this was our journey and apply that to your relationship as best you can, but don't try to mimic or emulate or copy, you know, verbatim what anyone else did or has or does, because that's not your life. That's not your journey.
Everybody's story is unique.
Absolutely.
It's your own story. Yeah.
So when you find yourself looking at that Instagram post and wishing that your spouse or your partner, your girlfriend or boyfriend would do it, reevaluate whether or not you actually need it. And whether or not it would truly make you happy in your relationship or whether or not you're just doing it because
somebody else did.
You see somebody else doing it.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah. All right. You got any questions for us, Bree?
Yeah, girl. You know, we always have a question. Hold up. It's our question. Da, da, da. A little whole music. A little music. Do we have so many listener questions to choose from. Which one are we choosing today? That last one? Was it the last one?
We can do that one.
Okay, so I have to start before I read this question and saying I apologize greatly to the wonderful lady in my hair salon who gave me this question. I don't recall your name. I'm so sorry. If I run into you again, or if you listen to this, email me and I will shout you out on a later episode. I apologize. But since we tend to talk to the question giver when we're answering, we'll call you Helen.
Okay, Helen.
Hi, Helen. Not her name, but thank you, Helen, for listening. So this is what Helen said. For Christmas, I asked my husband for a new robe and cozy socks and some pajamas. I thought I was being practical, but on Christmas morning, he brought me 2 plastic handbags, the same one in 2 god-awful colors. Ooh. A stinky perfume gift box, and some nail polish. Basically, all the things that are left on the shelf on Christmas Eve. I wasn't too upset, although it was obvious my gift was an afterthought. Well, Christmas afternoon, my husband is on his way out the door to have dinner with his family, and I see he bought his aunt an expensive designer purse. I never asked him for a designer purse, but it's obvious she got a much more thoughtful gift than I did. I'm furious. What should I do? Girl. Helen, we would have had a fight. This is what's
this is
weird.
the aunt. This isn't even the mom or the.
Well, it's not another woman that he could be having an affair with, and it's also not another. Well, I guess you could have an affair with your aunt, but it's also not another woman that should be in competition with his wife for affection, like a mom,
right,
or like a twin sister or a daughter. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure. Okay, first of all, let me say this: your feelings of being really pissed off. Totally valid, and I'd be right there with you.
I would be livid.
Right there with you. Okay, so that part, we on your side. We're probably on your side with the whole thing here, but we got to unpack it in layers. What should you do? Well, since this is obviously after Christmas, I'm not sure what you actually did.
We'd like to know.
Yeah,
so email us.
Give us some
Let
context,
us know. Yeah.
Which is gonna suck because I don't even remember her name, so I can't ask my hairdresser about it.
I'm sure you'll run into her again.
I'm sure, yes. She's from Lafayette, Louisiana. So there, Helen. I hope he didn't actually give the aunt the purse. I really do hope he didn't. Because in my eyes, when we talk about giving gifts back, he should have brought that purse back to the store and bought you what you asked for. And damn if he had to pay extra because it was after Christmas. But plus,
I just wonder, like, why weren't those gifts switched? Like, why?
Well, a few things. Because I don't think he should have not given the gift to the aunt. If he bought the gift for the aunt, then the aunt gets the gift.
Pause. What that heifer did to get a designer purse, and I get the aftershelf gifts.
Well, we don't know the relationship between the husband.
She may be more like a mom to
right.
Well, guess what?
She
better be your every night. Because I'm not. After that,
we do not know the relationship with the aunts, and so I don't want to downplay that, and I don't want to downplay the fact that she may have really deserved the gift. I will say,
his wife, though?
I will say he should have then gone out and gotten his wife something.
At least what she asked for.
He should have gotten her what she asked for, or maybe gone above and beyond that.
Exactly.
But
since he didn't, I don't think the aunt should have got the damn purse.
But also playing devil's advocate here, the wife didn't ask for a purse.
Right. I was going to say she did not ask for a purse, but he still bought her 2 purses and they were ugly. So it's like, not only did you not give me the very practical things I asked for, because I think socks and what else she said? A robe and pajamas is super practical, super doable. Yeah. He should have ran out the second she said that's what she wanted and got it. Like, boom, bam, wife taken care of. She's happy. Christmas morning, whoop-de-whoop. Because, he couldn't, I don't know what kind of designer bag this is, but I strongly doubt he went out also on Christmas Eve to this designer store and got this purse. Yeah. I feel like this purse was probably purchased weeks before.
I think he probably, he probably planned for that gift and then was like, oh, shoot, I need to buy something for my wife.
That's what I'm trying to understand is, how did your wife end up being an afterthought? Now, I don't know the state of your marriage, but even if y'all did have issues, this didn't help at all.
But I think sometimes that happens. I mean, for Valentine's Day one year, my husband bought some perfume, and I swear it smelled like a great grandmother, not just a grandmother. And it was just something that he just saw. Like, he's like, "Oh, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow," and he just saw it and picked it up. That happens. It happens. Yeah. But my problem is the thoughtful, expensive gift going to the aunt.
Husbands do forget. Husbands do get caught at the last minute.
That wouldn't bother me at all. It's just
blah 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 blah. That happens. The kicker, like you said, is but you put thought and effort into this gift for the aunt.
We're assuming he did. We don't know that the aunt didn't say,
"This is what I want. I want this purse."
Okay, then he put effort and money into the gift for the aunt and didn't for the wife.
Right. I'm just saying. The aunt may have been very specific about what she wanted, and so
but so was the wife.
He figured it was easy to just buy it, and
And if he waited to the last minute, he might have easily found the purse that she wanted, the specific purse, but the robe and everything might have been picked over. Maybe he couldn't find a specific robe that he thought she would like. I don't know. I
don't know what kind of designer, and there's levels. That word designer is very broad, Yeah. And I'm not trying to throw any labels out there, but there are labels that you could go into a department store and they have 10 million of that designer purse. And then there's some that you have to go into their boutique and good luck. Because around Christmas, all the rich people have bought all of the good things and you just have what's left. And what's left is either a nasty trinket or something that's $50,000.
Nasty trinket.
Listen, even the high ends get it wrong sometimes, okay? But even if the aunt specifically was like, I want this purse. And he was like, well, all right, that's easy. I'll go get it. Your wife also said, I want these things.
She did. So
he should have went out and got those things. Even if he was like, fuck, I forgot it's the last minute. He should have went on Amazon, got all the stuff she asked for, and just printed out the thing and be like, baby, I'm so sorry, but it's everything you asked for. It's just coming tomorrow.
Right.
I think that would have been handled differently.
He just may not have thought that far in advance. Yeah. I mean, we know it happens, male and female. People are not good at giving gifts. They're not good at last minute gifts. They're not good at fixing their mistakes when they mess up. So I think in this case, like, the aunt is not the enemy at all. I think the husband should have. No, I'm just saying, like, she's not the problem. It's the husband should have rectified the situation.
Absolutely.
Instead of buying a whole bunch of stuff he knew his wife probably would not have liked. Mm-hmm. He should have just fessed up and said, I'm sorry. I dropped the ball. I messed up. Let me fix it.
So I do think that would have been a much better route to go versus getting the afterthought gifts off the shelf of God knows what last minute store. But that still wouldn't have been a total get out of jail free card in my eyes, because again, you put some effort and some thought into making sure you went to that place to get that bag for your aunt. Also, we're assuming that the aunt asked for that specific purse. She may not have. He may have sat around and been like, you know what, Auntie Bree would really like. She really liked that blah, blah, blah bag. Mm-hmm. And then went to the store and got it for her. That's also a possibility. And again, I would ask, why are you putting that much thought and effort into your aunt's gift, regardless of how close y'all are, and not into your wife's?
Well, regardless of the reason or, how it happened, I would personally talk to him about it. Communication.
Yes.
Talk to him.
After you've calmed down.
Yeah. After you've calmed down, just talk to him and just find out what the reasoning was. Find out exactly what happened and, what made you get these gifts and,
Right.
That's the first step.
Right.
Let me tell you something.
Find out what happened, why it happened, and allow him the chance to fix it. This is not.
But baby, whatever he spent on that purse for her, he would be crying when he saw what he'd have to spend to fix it.
This is not something worth allowing to spiral into a bigger situation.
Which it can. Because
it definitely can.
Because you could definitely harp on the fact that it was a lack of thoughtfulness.
Right.
You know, and that could allude to a much larger picture of, is he even considering me? Is he happy in this marriage? Right. It can keep going.
Right. And even in along those lines, after you talk about the problem, why you were upset, how he can fix it, then talk about how it can be avoided in the future. This bothered me. It didn't bother me that you bought this gift. It bothered me that you spent more time, effort, and thought on a gift for this family member as opposed to a gift for me. In the future, how can we avoid this?
Yeah, who knows? It may be a really funny story. It may be something that's like...
we don't
please
know.
let me know what the funny story is for this. Because I let me tell you something. Auntie Bree would have got the stinky perfume, the god-awful purses in 2 different colors, and nail polish. And I would have gotten a handbag, and I wouldn't have kept it. I'd have brought it back and got something I wanted. Because I'll be goddamn if you gonna do more for any other woman than you do for your wife. I'm numero uno. I'm number one.
Yeah, I agree.
We
don't disagree with that. We're just saying.
So I mean, your aunt, I'm sure she's his aunt is a lovely woman, and that's wonderful. Maybe she did something great for him. He wants to say thank you. That's beautiful and everything like that. But it should not be at the expense of him making you feel loved, cared, thought about, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, I don't know how much easier she could have made it on him. Not only did she tell him exactly what she wanted, it was very practical gift. Like, she didn't ask for a Rolls Royce. Yeah. And then get mad that she didn't get one. Like, she took pajamas and a robe and some socks.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I hope you are able to talk to your husband about it if you have not already. Mm-hmm. That you guys are able to come to an agreement.
I hope she has by now.
And that you have a much better gift at this point.
Girl, listen, Valentine's Day's coming up.
Yeah, let him make it up then.
And Lord Jesus, if he get his aunt a Valentine's Day.
Oh, goodness. That's a whole nother.
All right.
Girl, I will help you slash his tire. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't do that.
All right. I hope you guys have worked it out and talked about how you can avoid it in the future. And yeah, if we find out what the makeup gift was, I'd love to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And he better get one. Like, I hope he don't think like, oh, well, it's over, it's done with, and just move on. Like, no. Like, he has to put some thought and effort into making this right. Because this was wrong. He did you wrong for Christmas. I'm sorry to say it. He did not do you right for Christmas, girl. Like, and it's not even, you know what? Take the whole aunt gift out of it. I think she
really
would.
riled up.
Yes, because let me tell you, she's well within her rights to be upset if he had never bought anything else for anybody else, but she specifically asked him for these things, and he came in with the trash he did come in with. It's like, I told you what to get me weeks ago. Why didn't you get it then? You cannot tell me that you forgot. It was. You have Christmas reminders everywhere. You cannot exist in America without knowing it's Christmas between Thanksgiving and December 25th. So how did you forget? Like, come on.
Mr. Bree, if you're listening, please do not make this mistake.
Yeah, don't ever mess up like this.
Ever.
Let me tell you, he did mess up like this once. But I will tell y'all, one Christmas, my husband, were we married? We were married. One Christmas, my husband bought me socks. Not even like nice, funny socks, but like white crew neck socks and a Swifter.
Ooh.
It was not a Merry Christmas in the Mr. Bree and Bree household.
So this is why you're so riled up. You can really relate.
I can relate now
to bad gifts.
Homeboy has made up for it.
Yes, he has.
Many times
definitely.
over, I will give him that. But the fact that he thought that was okay, like, kills me. He was like, "Well, I mean, you know, you always using my socks." Yeah, because they're yours, not because I don't have my own. It's like the hoodie thing. You know, you take his hoodie because it's cozy and it smells like him and it's broken in and it's warm and, you know, you don't actually need him to go buy you a hoodie. And even if he does, you still gonna wear his. Like, this player bought me socks and a Swiffer. I was like, this is not 1955, player. You don't gift me a household cleaning item like that's gonna make me swoon. Girl. So yes, I do feel strongly about this. Helen, I'm on your side. Anywho, y'all ready for my quote?
Yes, I am ready.
So, I don't think y'all ever heard this song, but man, it's perfect. You ready? Okay. You may not believe it, but 9 times out of 10, it's true. The people you're trying to keep up with are trying to keep up too. Remember that old saying, all that glitters ain't gold. Take heed. Don't ignore it until your money time will hold. Oh, don't let the Joneses get you down. That's by the Temptations.
Oh, okay.
See, I can throw it back sometimes.
Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah,
that was perfect.
Keep that in mind. They said it. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. If you have comments, questions, or you want to say hi, you can reach out to us at Mrs. and a Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at mrsandamike@gmail.com. This is CJ.
It's L.
Oh, before I say Embry, I just want to add one quick thing. To all our listeners who listen to us on Apple Podcasts, if you guys could please leave us ratings for our podcast so that we will be on like suggested podcast page for other people who listen to other podcasts, just so we can grow our podcast. I'd really appreciate it. We'd really appreciate it. It'd be awesome. Yes. Don't leave us ratings lower than a 5 though, because then we'll fall back down like the 5. You know, just leave us 5. Okay. All right. And Bye.